This is one of the heftiest maps in the set. Fortunately, it's not bad at all. It's kind of a big adventure map type deal, where there's 7 yellow skulls that you have to not collect, but trigger them warping into this central room I'm in right now. And once they're all there, you can go in and trigger the finale. It's an interesting level, very non-linear, with a lot of different ways you can approach things. Again, often many of them are a poor idea, so there's a lot of experimentation to it. I like that in general. Sometimes I feel like some of the maps in this mod take it a bit far, but I like this map overall. Although you do eventually get very aware of what all the triggers are and what you'll be letting yourself into by doing this or doing that, and avoid having to suffer the worst of it. So this encounter in the basement here is pretty good. You can stretch it out a little bit by not hitting the switch until you've killed the 2 skeletons. But now, once you hit the switch, it's kind of on. A lot of stuff teleports into the hall, and it's really not practical to be able to kill them all fast enough to keep it from getting on multiple fronts. Like, I do this really poorly here, but it's quite difficult to manage. I like it. It's a neat setup. Like trying to kill them through the windows before they get around and rat hole you. Anyway, once we've done it, we can flip this switch and get the first skull. I'm not really sure what triggered this guy to be here exactly. If he was an accident, it should have been in that teleport ambush or what. That skull populates that room again. We can leave, but we'll be back. It's not like we can get out of dealing with those guys eventually. Waiting for the door to close so I can open it again. This is pretty cheap for a rocket launcher. It's a little hard to see, but there's a ton of zombie men up on the balconies there. And then these 2 guys to waste your ammo. You can't just ignore them. A little bit of a boring room. It becomes the site of kind of a cool fight later on. But I mean, you can't just leave zombie men there. You'll lose 10 HP here, 15 there. It's not worth it. Alright, moving on to the next section. There's a secret passage here. This is kind of a funny little setup. The imps looking in through the windows. You'll see when we get into that bedroom, you can see through the windows there that I didn't really look through. From that side, like it just looks like there's paintings on the walls. There's no, I don't know. It's kind of cute. Like voyeuristic imps looking through the paintings of the bedroom. I don't know. It's another one of the weird, stupid things this mod has. I kind of like it. Goofy details like that. So this next part gets kind of obnoxious, and it's really my fault. This hallway, there's an L-shaped hallway here. It's got some hit scanners in it, and then some arch files in the walls. And then on the other side of the hall, like where I'm not looking, it bends to the left, and there's some Hell Knights over there, 3 or 4 of them. This place is a lot less problematic if you approach from the other side, because the problem here is you can't stay in the hallway on this end without potentially not having simultaneous shelter from both arch files. So it's kind of like I'm trying to just plink this guy to death. It's being slow and not really working. It's a much better idea to come at this hallway from the other direction. I was kind of experimenting with different ways to do it. I was sort of experimenting with different approaches all throughout my attempts on this map. You know, different techniques have radically different outcomes. But this place is way easier if you can just kill these guys first, and then take advantage of the crook in the hallway to deal with the archviles much more easily with the rocket launcher. But it's whatever. I mean, I didn't lose much. It just sort of took a long time and wasted a fair bit of ammo. Once there's just one of these guys, it's no big deal. So if you go down to the ground floor in this room, a arachnotron falls down from the ceiling in the center of it. You want to be ready for that. Although if you have the plasma rifle, it's not a big deal. So that's where I'm going now, to fetch the plasma rifle. I don't know if this was intended to be a secret or what. It's pretty essential. And then this does seem more like a secret. So this triggers a fight that's like incredibly nasty if you stay to fight it out. But you don't have to. Straight up, do not have to. There's like a huge horde of like revenants and hell knights and demons, all backed up in an extremely enclosed space, and all backed up by an archvile like way in the back, so you can't get to them. It just keeps resurrecting guys. You can go through all 300 of those cells and all your shells and all your everything, and run out of ammo and be dead there. It's honestly a fairly poorly designed encounter, but it's also completely optional, so whatever. So I triggered the arachnotron. It also triggers these guys, which are a surprisingly obnoxious problem if you don't just do this, and they're no problem at all. Got a little infighting, but won't do me much good at all because everything dies so fast to a spider demon. And they're stun locked to death the whole time. But whatever. At least I got rid of those captains. So this is really no problem. It's just, when he lights up, go behind the column, then center beam. Nothing to it. Just wastes a lot of ammo. I'm trying to avoid getting that armor there because I've got blue armor right now, and picking up a green armor would actually reduce my effective number of hit points. Don't really need that. I mean, I want to get it later at some point. This next encounter is kind of cool. It's back in the room with the rocket launcher and the mancubuses. Archviles appear at the end of the thing and start resurrecting zombie men, which is lucky. If they didn't have zombie men to resurrect, it would be a lot worse. It was a bit unlucky the guy fell down and got knocked down by the rocket blast, but things came out okay. I'm not sure that was a good pick up there either. I mean, whatever. So this is a cool room. Each of those columns has something in it, whether it's ammo or enemies or both, and they're all triggered by invisible line defs in the floor. I'm not really sure where exactly all of them are. Some of them open when you walk through other ones. It all depends. So it's kind of a cool little whack-a-mole sort of feeling. I like this room quite a bit. I think it's almost a super sick fight, and still a quite sick fight. There's a archvile in one of these. I can't quite remember what triggers it. It's the main thing on my mind right now. It's yeah, it's getting those. So first I was going to use the rocket launcher for the next thing, but I'm really going to need it for the fight after this one, so I'm better off burning cells. Once the paint elements are gone, you can really switch to this. It's fine. Things are pretty under control at this point. Cool room. I really like this room. So the next room is a classic example of something that's like pretty decent if you come from one direction, and just insanely fucking hard if you come from the other way. And you'll sort of be able to see in a minute. Like this, it's pretty just waste there, but pretty much just blasting rockets into archviles that don't really have any way to get away from. Just make sure you don't blow yourself up with them. If you come in from the other side, that door there, then you've got the two archviles in the two separate holes. You can't fucking shoot them without blowing up your own feet. Like, there's no good cover from both of them. You kind of get behind that one pillar. It's just a nightmare. Okay, check this out. This is like a magic trick. Wow, where'd they come from? Real cute. So this next thing, you gotta like zip up the lab equipment to get the last skull. The platform's weird, so it's kind of hard to maintain your momentum. So this fight, this is kind of like a corner of the big nasty fight in the sewers. Like, that's what rose up as part of the room they were all in. If you kill those guys before doing this, then what you get instead is like just some pain elementals and some cacos, and it's actually almost worse than that because they don't get stuck in the box. Like they come out and mix it up with you. So like it's not like I was exactly being punished for running away there. It would be more correct to say I took a break and got a break. So all the skulls have been collected at this point, and it's a matter of triggering the finale. I'm about to make a pretty serious mistake here, and it's because I never really got a solid route for this level. There's so there's 3 different pain elementals. That guy and then 2 others that get triggered back there. You can trigger the 2 pain elementals just anytime you walk into that room from the door up behind the balcony to the left there, where near the beginning I killed 4 shotgun men right all at once. Or not quite all at once, but they were there. If I'd gone through that door, it would have triggered these 2 pain elementals to appear. That would have been a great time to do it. But at some point you want to do it, like having him pop in behind me when I was busy with other things there. I should have taken the time to make this room more tidy before I went around to the pillar room and had to come back from the other side. It was an awkward piece of routing. That's the bottom line. And somehow what I did in there triggered this teleport ambush too. There's a lot of health to it. Just a weird map, but cool. Some interesting encounters, so I forgive it for the bullshit. So anyway, it starts kind of a timed sequence. Pretty soon it'll give me that invulnerability and then dump a huge number of archviles on me. You can kill the archviles in time for the invulnerability to run out, but it's a bad idea because it didn't just dump these guys on you here, it also dumped them into the balcony room, a couple of other areas, so like, you're better off just rushing for the exit. It would be really obnoxious to try to properly settle this finale thing. It's like, why bother when he doesn't even try to make it? Just do this. Super easy. Risk-free. You're invincible. Anyway, that's that pretty much.